this is a good deal. That's the key point. It's a balanced deal. It delivers firmly on the instruction we got in the referendum from the British people. It means we can move away from the free movement of people, bring in a skills-based immigration system, stop sending large sums of money indefinitely to Brussels, take back control of our laws. But it does that in a way which maintains good, strong, close trading with Europe, as well as being able to strike trade deals further afield. So it's a good balanced deal and it works for people's jobs and livelihoods.
How can we sign international trade deals when we have to, as part of the customs union, stick to EU tariffs?
Well, the agreement is specific. It's there in black and white that the UK can have and will have its own independent trade policy, and I think that's really important. We will be in control of decisions about what we do and how much regulatory alignment we have with the European Union.
But the reality is that you know as well as I do, we've got this 580-odd page document. The vast majority of that document is all set in stone. It's legally binding, and that's all the good stuff for the EU and the bad stuff for us. But the good stuff for us, these are pages of 6 or 7 pages, which now have gone up to 26 pages of the future political relationship. That's just a political declaration. That's not legally enforceable. It's nothing but a wish list. I mean, it may as well include a free puppy for everyone at Christmas.
Well, you're quite right to describe it as good stuff for us. It really is. It is a good balanced approach. And actually,
no, Damian, do not. Don't let that pass. You know that's the stuff that makes the stuff that makes the other stuff palatable isn't legally binding. So why on earth do we think that that's actually going to happen?
Well, look, it's the legal position that for the European Union, they can only negotiate a trade deal with someone who isn't a member. So therefore, those negotiations will be completed when we are outside the European Union, after we've left, so after March the 29th. But what the political declaration is, it's a clear set of instructions to the negotiators in that process, actually with quite a lot more detail and certainly more ambition than many people thought possible. We've come a long way from where we were a few months ago. As I say, it's a combination of things that a lot of people didn't think would be possible to do. We've got the European Council coming up on Sunday to ratify that, and it's a very strong basis to move forward.
Damian Hinds, with all due respect, as Education Secretary, I don't think you even believe what you're saying right now. And I don't know why you think that the British people, certainly the 52% who voted leave, including me, will believe what you said. We can see it in black and white. This deal does give us an end to free movement, as you said, control of our borders. Absolutely, because we're leaving the single market. But the Prime Minister, who's your boss, who's the leader of your party, who wrote the manifesto that you stood on in June 2017, said that we would leave the European Union, single market and the customs union and the auspices of the European Court of Justice. We remain in the customs union. We're still subject to EU rules and laws, and we're still going to have the final say on any disputes being taken by the European Court of Justice. In what way is that Brexit? And in what way is that in line with what you stood on as an MP at the last general election?
Well, if what you had just said was right, that would be a tricky thing to answer, but it isn't. This, as I say, in black and white, as you've just said, is the thing about ending free movement, but there's plenty more in black and white there as well. We are leaving the common agricultural policy. We're leaving the common fisheries policy. It's explicit that we have the ability to strike our own trade deals, but we also want to have a close trading relationship with Europe. That's not the same as saying in the customs union. This is a bespoke UK relationship with the EU. It'll be a closer economic relationship than the EU has with any other advanced economy. We've gone way beyond this kind of what was put to us some time ago, that you can either be like Norway or you can be like Canada. No, we're not like either of them. We are Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and this is a proper bespoke deal which recognises our unique position, recognises the strength and size of our economy, and is a good basis to move forward
Okay, but why is it then, for instance, senior figures in the CBI, the Confederation of British Industry, and some leaked emails have basically said this is not a good deal?
Well, look, senior figures in the CBI sounds a bit like the phrase senior member of parliament. It's you become senior when something like that gets out. Actually, what we've heard from the CBI is that business wants this deal. They want to move on. We want to have clarity about what's happening in the future.
Okay, just finally, no one seems to expect this deal's going to get through Parliament. Half of Tory backbenchers have said publicly they won't vote for it, 88 of them. With Labour Party largely won't vote for it. The Liberal Democrats won't vote for it. The DUP, your people propping you up in your minority government, won't vote for it. So how are you going to get it through? And if it doesn't go through, what happens next?
Well, Julia, the ink is barely dry on the political declaration document. We haven't yet had the debate, and we're going to have days of debate in Parliament. And this is what Parliament is for, and it's what MPs are for. It is absolutely right that members of Parliament will scrutinise this. They'll have a full and robust debate. They'll analyse it, and they will consider what the alternatives are. We'll have the vote at the end of that. We're not having the vote at the beginning of it. We have to have that debate, and then ultimately everybody has got to make their own judgment about what is in the national interest. We're all
and if they do vote it down, what happens then?
Well, I'm not in the business of predicting the outcome. I'm in the business of trying to help shape the outcome. So we're going to have this debate. The Prime Minister has landed a good deal. We now have to sell it. We have to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to scrutinise it, but also to make sure that when they do that, they're not just thinking, do I love every line item detail of this deal? They've got to think about this as a package and compare it to the alternatives. And the alternatives are the risk of no Brexit at all, or the risk of not having a deal at all. This is a strong deal, and we should move forward. No,
this is a simple no-deal Brexit. I'm quite happy with that. Huge numbers of Leave voters would be happy with that. Why not just deliver Brexit as we asked you to?
Well, the two things you've just said are two different things. To say just deliver Brexit and a no-deal Brexit are two very different.
One's a subset of the other.
Different propositions. Well, I think people expect their government to negotiate a way out of the European Union, which is good for jobs and good for people's livelihoods, and not to risk disruption and the sorts of things that we could get with a no-deal Brexit. Sure, if you want to have a debate about whether a no-deal Brexit is a good idea, we can absolutely have that debate, and there's a great deal to be said about why we should not be aiming for that.
Okay. Education Secretary Damian Hinds, I think we could safely say you and I are not going to end up in agreement on this one. Good luck selling that deal to your backbenchers, though.